All right, so chapter 1, lesson 2 is ratios. Okay, in the warm up it says, in her dog walking business, Mrs. DeCarbo walks 2 large dogs and 8 small dogs. We want to compare the number of small dogs to large dogs. We want to use yellow counters to represent large dogs and use red counters to represent small dogs. So if you're using counters, if you don't have colors, you can do like a circle with an L in it and a circle with an S in it, okay, for large and small, okay? So down here we're going to organize them. So they have 2 large dogs, and we're going to use yellow counters to represent the large dogs. And then we're going to use the red counters to represent the small dogs, and the small dogs, there's 8 of them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there you have your counters. Number 1 says, well, we want to fill in the boxes there. It says 2 plus blank equals 8. Well, let's see. 2 are the small dogs. 8 is the large dogs, right? So how much should I add to 2 to get to 8? 6, right? So this tells me that there are 6 more small dogs than there are large dogs. You see how we're doing that? Okay? Now here, number 2 says, here's the equation says 2 times what number equals 8? So 2 times 4 equals 8. So that means there are 4 times as many small dogs as there are large dogs. All right, let's look at number 3. Number 3 says 8 minus blank equals 2. What are we going to subtract there? 6. So that tells me that there are, beautiful, 6 fewer large dogs than there are small dogs. Now here, 8 divided by blank equals 2. 4. Very good. So 8 divided by 4. Now, the number of large dogs, which is the 2, right, is what fraction of the number of small dogs? Very good, because we divided by 4. You got that? So that's going to be 1/4. Here we're going to write a ratio in simplest form. I want you to write the definition of the ratio, and I want you to write that it can be written in 3 different ways, and write these 3 examples in your notes. There are many different ways to compare amounts or quantities. A ratio is a comparison of 2 quantities by division. Okay? A ratio of 2 paper clips to 2 red paper clips to 6 blue paper clips can be written in 3 ways. We have 2 to 6 using the word 2. We have 2 to 6 using a colon in the middle, and 2 to 6 using the fraction bar, which, by the way, can be simplified. So this is the example that I want you to watch and listen. So let's see. Number 1, it says here we want to write the ratio in simplest form that compares the number of red paper clips to the number of blue paper clips, and then we want to explain its meaning. So this is what we were just talking about in that previous portion. So here, if we're looking at the picture, let's see. How many red paper clips all total do we have? 1, 2, right? And then the blue paper clips, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So red clips to blue clips would be 2 to 6, right? Now, if I simplified that, we would divide this whole group into 2 equal parts, 2 equal groups, right? So when we do that, we put one clip on the red clip on this side and one red clip on that side. We have 6 total blue clips, so I put 3 on this side and 3 on that side. So here, when we simplify it, how many clips do we have in here? 1 red one and 3 blue ones. So this, in picture form, is how you can see the simplifying 2/6 to 1/3. Is everybody clear with that? So what it means when we have, when we explain it, you can say that for every 2 red clips, there are 6 blue clips, but then you can simplify that to say for every 1 red clip, there are 3 blue clips. You got it? All right, very good. So let's do this got it problem. Oh, I also wanted to point out that look at all the different ways that you can write the ratio, okay? You can write it as a fraction. You can write it 1 to 3 with the word 2, and you can write 1 to 3 with the colon. Okay, those are the 3 different ways that you can write the ratio. All right, so let's look at this example. It says write the ratio in simplest form. Write the ratio in simplest form that compares the number of suns to the number of moons, and then explain its meaning. Again, you don't have to write all the information. We're just going to write the important information. So, how many suns are there?
4.
Okay, so we have 4 suns. How many moons do we have?
6.
Very good. So this is writing down our important information. So 4 and 6 moons, right? So, in order to write the ratio suns to moons, to write the ratio as suns to moons, we can use it, the fraction form, okay? So we can write, if I want suns to moons, this is how we write it with the words in fraction form. With the numbers 4 to 6. Is everybody clear with that? And then, of course, 4 to 6, we can simplify. What are we going to simplify? How are we going to simplify? Divide by?
2.
Very good. So we will divide by 2, and we'll end up with 2 to 3. And again, you can write this as 2 to 3 with the word 2, and you can write it 2 to 3 with the colon. So now we want to explain its meaning. So 2 to 3 means that for every 2 suns, there's going to be 3 moons. Very good. And I want you to make sure you write that down in there. I'll just type it. For every 2 suns, there are 3 moons. All right, so we're going to use ratios to compare categorical data. Now, you know what categorical data is? That is data that you organize into groups, right? Like boys to girls, plants to trees, right? Okay, those kind of things. So here it says each piece of categorical data, and right now you can just write down the heading, okay? Each piece of categorical data can only be assigned to one group. Bar diagrams or tape diagrams and frequency tables can be used to represent categorical data. Ratios can be used to compare the data. So here, once again, when we're looking at categorical data, like for example, if we're doing boys to girls, you can't choose, I don't know, Adam, and put Adam in the girl group and the boy group. Okay? Adam will just go in the boy group. Is everybody clear? So when you are categorizing, you can each item can only be put in one group. You got that? All right. So, for example, down here, It says several students named their favorite flavor of gum. Write a ratio that compares the number of students who choose fruit to the total number of students. So we're comparing the students who choose fruit to the total number who were asked the question, right? All right. So here, how many chose fruit? 3 chose fruit. And how do I know what the second number is going to be? You just add them all together. Very good. So we end up with 3 to 21. So the ratio of students who chose fruit to total number of students is 3 to 21. And of course, 3 21sts can be simplified by dividing by 3. So that means that so 1 out of every 7 students preferred fruit-flavored gum. The note here says something that you should already know, right? It is important to read the entire problem so that an accurate answer can be determined. Well, of course you're going to read the entire problem, right? You're not going to read part of it and then answer your question because that wouldn't make any sense, right? So you need to make sure that you read the entire problem so you have all of the information before you make your final answer. You got it? All right. All right, forgot it, letter B. A pet store sold the animals listed in the table in 1 week. Write the ratio of cats to pets sold that week. Then explain its meaning. So we're comparing the number of cats to the total number of pets. Is everybody clear with that? Okay. All right, so we are comparing cats to pets. Okay. So how many cats were sold that week? 8. And how many total pets? Total pets were sold that week. 32. Okay, look, you guys, all we're doing is we're going to add this over here. So this is going to be 12. Carry the 1. 1, 2, 3. If you need to do that, do it on your paper. Okay? So now, what can I do with this?
Since 30.
Good. All right, so now 8/32 can be simplified by dividing by 8 in the numerator and in the denominator. When you are showing, you're simplifying. I don't want you to write just divided by and then a big 8 here, because that means it's something different. You need to show your division in the numerator and in the denominator, okay? So we end up with 1 over 4. So the ratio is 1 to 4. What's another way I could write this ratio? Very good. We could say 1 and the 2 dots, the colon. Oops, sorry. 1 and the 2 and the colon, and 4. And what's another way I could write it? 1 and the word 2. 1 to 4. So those are the 3 different ways that we can write that ratio. Now, what does 1 to 4 mean here? When we explain the meaning here, we're going to look at our simplified form, 1 to 4, and this 1 to 4, this 1 represents cats, that 4 represents pets. So we can say that 1 out of every 4 pets were sold last week, or that week. Recording. All right, so 1 out of every 4 pets sold that week were cats, right? Okay, were cats. Good catch. Good catch. So for the last example, it says Katie wants to divide her 30 flowers into 2 groups so that the ratio is 2 to 3. Okay? Now, we want to use a bar diagram to show the ratio of 2 to 3. Now, she has 30 flowers, right? She has 30 flowers. And that means how many sections is she going to have? If she wants the ratio to be 2 to 3, there's going to be 2 groups. There's going to be 2 groups in the first section, and there's going to be 3 groups in the second section. So how many groups total do we have? 2 plus 3 is 5. So we're going to have 5 total groups. Does that make sense? All right, so we're going to have 5 total groups. Now, if I have 5 groups and we have 30 flowers, how many flowers are going to be in each one of those groups? 6, because we have 30 divided by 5. Does that make sense? So 30 divided by 5 is 6. So that means we're going to have 6 flowers in every group. So that means now when we're going to set up our groups 2 to 3, we're going to have 2 groups up here, and how many groups down here? 3. 3 groups down here. So here for the ratio, this is going to be how many to what? How many in this first number? 12. So there's going to be 12 up here. And how many flowers in this section down here? 18. And that is how we got our ratio. Okay? So that tells me there are going to be 12 flowers in one group and 18 flowers in the other group. And on this one, they're not asking you to simplify. Okay? They're not asking you to simplify because they just want to know how many flowers are in each group. Is everybody clear with that?